Hello everyone, welcome back to Oneg Shabbat. Today we'll be discussing Parashat Naso. Parashat Naso finishes the minyan. We start with the minyan of the Levim. We finish the minyan of the Levim. From here we move on to the mitzvot. Now, mitzvot in Sefer B'Midbar are very interesting because Sefer Vayikra is a book of laws. Sefer Devarim is mostly a book of laws. Sefer B'Midbar is the only book where much has both in between. We have stories, laws, and laws. Even in Sefer Shmot, we had Yetziat Mitzrayim, then we have the laws, the Binyan HaMikdash, and then we have the ending. Binyan HaMishkan, and then the ending. It seems to be each part to itself. Sefer B'Midbar has an interesting back and forth between stories and between laws. We have the laws here, and right afterwards we have Chanukat HaMishkan, the story of Chanukat HaMishkan. Parashat Be'alotcha includes both as well. I think this teaches us in Sefer B'Midbar that mitzvot are connected to the story, which means when we read the mitzvot, we have to read them for the mitzvah itself, to understand the mitzvah, to understand the laws of the mitzvah, the idea of the mitzvah, but you look at it in a bigger context to also understand how it fits in with the story, how it fits in with everything. Now specifically in our parasha, the mitzvot we find, first of all, what we call Shiluach HaTmeim, that's in Perek Hey, Pasuk Aleph, we see צוות בני ישראל ושלחו מן המחנה כל צרוע בכל זב בכל טמא לנפש. Afterwards we see the next second mitzvah is asham gzelot, the Sota, the Nazir, and בסוף ברכת כהנים. So Rabbi goes on an interesting explanation to why all these mitzvot have to do with here, and the connection to this and to the beginning and to the end afterwards is these are all results of Hashrat Shechina. As we mentioned last week, the minyan could be a result of Hashrat Shechina, and we see right after these mitzvot we have Chanukat HaMishkan. So then here these parashot are here to show that the Mishkan has an effect on everyday life. It affects what happens if you steal from a person. It affects Tum'ah v'Tahara, obviously. It affects a marriage. If a husband and wife get into a problem, they go to the Mikdash. It affects Nezirut. The Mishkan affects our entire life. It's not just a place of Korbanot. Now, what I want to focus on specifically is on the Mincha of the Sota, which is brought in the Mishkan. First of all, the fact that Hashem tells us in a case where a husband does not know to bring his wife to the Mishkan to find out what exactly happened is something very significant. It turns out, archaeologists have found that the Chitim had a similar process that they used to do if they were worried that one of the Kohanim stole holy bread. Then they used to do a similar process of bringing it to the Mishkan to find out if he really stole it or didn't. Now, the motive here could show us, or the case could show us a deep contrast. Hashem tells a person to bring his wife in order to bring Shlom Bait, meaning Gadol HaShalom, as Chazal say, Shenimcha v'o Shem alamayim, that Hashem is willing to have his name nimchak from the klaf into the water for shalom between ish ve'ishto. Whereas according to the goyim, they have a similar procedure when someone is stealing from Hashem, in order to say that the only reason that God would intervene in such a way is for his own good. If someone were ki'ilu stealing from his bread, then God would want to intervene inside the process. But lo kach b'Torah. The Torah says that when does Hashem intervene? Kedei le'avi shalom ben ish le'ishto. That's the first thing I want to mention about the Sota. The second thing I want to focus on is the mincha of the Isha Sota. We see part of the process is that after he drinks the water and everything, it says, Pasuk Kafeh, ולקח הכהן מיד האישה את מנחת הכנות, והניף את המנחה לפני אדוני והקריב אותה על המזבח, וקמץ הכהן מן המנחה את אזכרתה, והקטיר מזבחה, ואכל השקה את האישה על המים. See, part of what she has here is a mincha, minchat שיעורים, and the whole process of the mincha. But this mincha is very surprising, because it seems to be unnecessary. מה נפשך? If she's really guilty, she's going to die. She's going to die from the mayim ha'me'arim. Why does she need a korban mincha? If she's not guilty, what is the point of the korban? She doesn't need it because she didn't do it. The husband, chashad ba, he was suspicious for no reason. Why does she need to bring a mincha? What is the point of this? So the Rabbi writes that the reason for this mincha, it's for the husband. It's the husband's prayer that Hashem will help him solve this problem. If he got into a problem, Hashem will help him solve it in one way or another. Problem with that, it says, if he takes לקח הכהן מיד האישה את מנחת הכנות, it seems to be from the woman. So what I think we could go in direction based off of the Parshan HaChizkuni, the Chizkuni says that this mincha isn't about the chet itself, about the histatut, about the possibility of her actually being with another man. That, the water is there for. The water will decide what happened. But the idea is that this came from somewhere. Meaning a sin isn't done by itself. A sin always comes from something, from a process that was before. There is no sin, such a severe sin, that comes out of nowhere. There were problems before. There were things that should have been taken care of and were not taken care of. And this is how we got to this terrible situation of the husband having to bring his wife to Beit HaMikdash. Which means the mincha isn't just for the histatrut, isn't just for the suspicion. The mincha is for the entire process up until now, for the problems, for the fights, for the unresolved issues. That's what the Mincha is there for, to realize and to teach us, looking from the side, reading from the Torah, to teach us that it isn't just one issue. This isn't just did she or did she not. There's something much deeper that needs atonement, and that's exactly where the Mincha of the Isha Sota comes in. Shabbat Shalom, everyone.